The effects for Omnisphere across the different categories are quite numerous. I'd like to give you just a quick look at some of my favorite ones in each of the categories. We're going to start out with dynamic and EQ effects. So we're talking about mostly compression and sound shaping tools. I'm going to load up right now on a fingerstyle acoustic guitar a precision compressor. A compressor is used not only for volume control, but you can also use a compressor to bring out some of the details that might get lost in a sound. Especially in Omnisphere, where everything is so beautifully sampled, there's a lot of rich harmonic content and rich sound effect content that you might not catch normally. So I'll increase the input a little bit, but also increase the sustain so that some of the quieter elements will be brought out and heard. The ratio is at 5:1. I'm going to slam it up there at around 7:1. So it's a little drastic, but we'll actually really hear some of the details in this guitar. If I wanted to load up a preset for a certain effect, the drop-down menu is here on the left-hand side. And these presets are just for this particular effect. We've already talked about loading up presets that have several effects. Now, I'm going to bypass this effect and turn it off so that you can hear the guitar on its own. Now I'll turn it on, the compressor, and it's going to get louder, but more importantly, some of the quiet parts will get louder and you'll really hear some of the richness. It's not just that the overall volume has gotten louder because the compressor is keeping the overall volume at a consistent level. It's just that you can now hear some of that lower end stuff, some of the slides and sound effects and lower harmonics. Now, I'm using some pretty drastic settings just so that you can hear the examples, but you can see how it can really bring out a little bit in the instrument. On the EQ side, we've got a couple of different types of EQs. And I'd like to just take a look at the difference between a graphic EQ and a parametric one. So a graphic EQ is one where the frequencies are pretty much fixed. You get to choose each frequency. So at 500 hertz, I can raise it a couple decibels or lower it a couple decibels. And at 10K, I can raise it or lower it. Now, what a parametric EQ does is it's sweepable. It lets you actually take that frequency and adjust it. So my low, instead of being stuck at 50, I can actually move it anywhere from 30 to 600. So I can find an exact area that I want to adjust. So the Q is how wide the point is that I'm adjusting, and then the gain is how much I'm adjusting it. So if I notch something out as I move it, I can find the offending frequency. By the way, that's kind of what a wah pedal really is. It's just a notched out frequency that's moving and being swept around. You can almost hear that wah effect right there when I do it. So that's the difference between a parametric EQ and a graphic one, static or sweepable frequencies.